Back on the Charles, set for a combined second varsity race here between Harvard-Radcliffe and the Georgetown Hoyas. Georgetown races its varsity 8 boat. Radcliffe races its first varsity and second varsity. The way it looks, Georgetown at the top of your screen, then it'll be first varsity for Radcliffe in the middle and second varsity for Radcliffe at the bottom of your screen. Here are the lineups for second-ranked Radcliffe lightweight crew, the black and white, in their second varsity boat, which again will be at the bottom of your screen, are coxswained by Electra Lang, a sophomore. Junior Serena Blacklow is the stroke. Junior Ruby Emberling is in seat 7. Junior Elizabeth Payton, seat 6. Junior Caitlin McAvoy is in seat 5. Junior Erin Walk in seat 4. Sophomore Jasmine Schickling is in seat number 3. Julia Baumel is sophomore in seat 2, and the bow seat is occupied by sophomore Natalie Henderson. For the varsity 8 boat, the coxswain is freshman Mackenzie Parks. Senior Naomi Lang is the stroke. Senior Gabby McNeil in seat 7. Freshman Josie Teal in seat 6. Senior Kristen Faulkner in seat 5. Freshman Marina Felix in seat 4. Sophomore Alana Anderson in seat 3. Sophomore Ada Boloski's in seat number 2, and the sophomore Genevieve Shaw is the bow for that varsity 8 boat, which beat Princeton last week in that class of 99 Cup. Second varsity also beat Princeton in the class of 99 Cup. And early on, first varsity has a slight lead over second varsity. Then it's Georgetown sitting in third. The lineup for Georgetown, sophomore Michaela McCool is the sophomore coxswain. Freshman Lindsay Olita is the stroke. Sophomore Joanna Moley is in seat 7. Junior Natalia Kiahane in seat number 6. Freshman Adriana Soto-Wright in seat 5. Freshman Natalie Soto-Wright, her sister, in seat 4. Sophomore Emily Marshall in seat 3. Sophomore Caroline Thomas in seat 2. And sophomore Grace Benson in that bow seat. Just 1 junior, 6 sophomores, 2 freshmen for the Hoyas of Georgetown. Still a slight lead for that first varsity 8 boat for Radcliffe ahead of the second varsity 8 boat. Got a little black and white on black and white rivalry here working with the first and second varsity boats going head to head. Profiling Radcliffe seniors all day, and there are 3 of them on this varsity 8 boat for the black and white. Naomi Lang, the stroke, also stroked the varsity 8 boat last year. She's been on the varsity 8 boat her entire career. She's from Kew, Australia, in the Mather House, and she's an English major. Gabby McNeil, also on that varsity 8 boat on her second season with the varsity 8. She's from Montclair, New Jersey. Lives in the Adams House, an applied mathematics major. And the final senior in that boat, Kristen Faulkner from Homer, Alaska, went to Phillips Academy. She's in the Cabot House and a computer science major. 2:22 in, Radcliffe's first varsity with a lead over the second varsity, and then a small lead back to Georgetown sitting in third. Remember, Radcliffe beat 5th-ranked Princeton last week in both the first and the second varsity. First varsity had a 12-second win, rather a 17-second win. Second varsity had a 10-second win. Black and white stroking strong, closing in on the midway point. Officials trying to move the Radcliffe second varsity boat slightly back to the left. About 35 strokes per minute early for this first varsity boat for the black and white, followed closely by the second varsity boat at the midway point, and then it's back to Georgetown. They go under the tunnel at 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the timer. So about a 7-minute pace through the opening 1,000 meters. Second varsity just behind, about 6 seconds or so, and now here comes Georgetown. Second varsity stroking at 32 strokes a minute right now. We clocked the first varsity at 35 strokes a minute. This first varsity boat won the Eastern Sprint Championships last year. They were second at the IRA National Championships behind Stanford. The Cardinal of Stanford again sit first place in the rankings this season. That First boat of Parks, Lang, McNeil, Teal, Faulkner, Felix, Anderson, Bolosky, and Shaw continue to lead, now slightly bigger as they start to look for open water over the second varsity boat of Lang, Blacklow, Emberling, Pate, McAvoy, Walk, Schickling, Baumel, and Henderson. And then Georgetown back behind, stroking at 31.5 strokes per minute in that Hoya boat. McCool, Olita, Moley, Keohane, Soto Wright, Marshall, Thomas, and Benson. Soto Wright sisters right in the middle of that boat. At about the 5-minute mark, Radcliffe coming past the boathouse, closing in on the final 500 meters. That's a chance to be a really good time for the Radcliffe First Varsity lightweight boat here. Radcliffe had a good fall. Strong performances in both the head and the foot of the Charles back in the fall season. Open water between Radcliffe's first varsity and second varsity, and similarly, a lot of open water between the second varsity for Radcliffe and Georgetown's varsity 8 boat. First race of the year for the Hoyas. Meanwhile, Radcliffe looking to go to 2-0, and it seems like they are in comfortable territory to move to 2-0 on the season. Win over Princeton last week. Beat Georgetown today, and then next week they head on the road to the Necht Cup. A couple hundred meters to go for the Radcliffe first varsity and second varsity boats as they look to complete the sweep. Radcliffe won the varsity 4, and it looks like first and second varsity will split the Georgetown varsity 8 boat. We're at the 6:25 mark with Radcliffe continuing towards the flag. Solid race for the boat of Parks, Lang, McNeil, Teal, Faulkner, Felix, Anderson, Bolosky, and Shaw. The same 8 that rode on the varsity 8 boat last week. A few more strokes for Radcliffe's varsity 8 boat. They come to the finishing line. The black and white of Radcliffe complete the sweep of the Hoyas at 7:11:07 unofficially. Here comes Radcliffe's second varsity home. Solid race. Radcliffe going to take it 1-2 ahead of Georgetown 3. That second boat of Lang, Blacklow, Emberling, Pate, McAvoy, Walk, Schlichting, Baumel, and Henderson come home about 15 seconds behind the first varsity 8 boat. And now the Hoyas look to finish. Clock ticks to 7 minutes and 40 seconds as Georgetown approaches the line. And the Hoyas are home another 15 seconds behind. So that's a 30-second win over Georgetown's first varsity 8 for Radcliffe's first varsity 8. Second varsity 15 seconds ahead. So a solid day for the Radcliffe lightweight crew. They win the varsity 4, and their first and second varsity beat the first varsity of the Hoyas. We'll be back with Radcliffe heavyweight crew next on the Ivy League Digital Network.